EA Games.
Challenge everything.
Looks like we're in store for another beautiful and serene December day.
Hey, Silas. My girl Benny sent me her picture yesterday. Oh, let me tell you about Rita Hayworth. Ain't got nothing on her.
Rita Hayworth? Wait a second. I thought you said Betty was a blonde.
No. It's Mary Lou. I'll tell you what, Fireboy. I'll put him on a chart.
Move it, you maggots! Move it! Topside! Let's go on the double! Hurry up! Armor on your primer!
Listen up, Marines. You take a good long look. I hope none of you ever see a day like this again. Now, nobody will ever know what it was like. But maybe the ones that lived through it. You just be damn sure you don't forget the ones who didn't.
December 7th, 1941, 10 in the morning. The United States suffers one of history's most devastating surprise attacks. With 2,403 dead and her once invincible navy decimated, America is forced to join the conflict already raging in Europe and Asia. Prior to Pearl-Harbour, the Japanese war machine had swept across China, cutting off American aid, and then pressed on into Burma with limited resistance. At home, Japan was building up a seemingly superior naval fleet, led by some of the world's largest aircraft carriers. But Admiral Yamamoto's prediction had come true. The aftermath of the Day of Infamy had indeed awakened the sleeping giant that was America. As the Emperor's armies march toward the Philippines, the United States takes action.
At ease, lad. Listen, son, I'm sorry about your brother. We got a damn tough job done, and most of us made it out alive. He was a good Marine. You can't ask for more than that.
With American armed forces now fully engaged in war, Japanese-occupied South Pacific islands are feeling the pressure. But hopes are crushed for a swift Allied victory in the Philippines. After a long, bloody battle, General MacArthur is ordered to retreat. Thousands of troops are left behind and forced to surrender. The enemy now controls the Philippines. MacArthur vows to return. In a bold offensive move, the United States prepares to land 10,000 troops on Guadalcanal, a relatively unknown island, where a strategic airfield is under construction by Japanese forces.
Listen up, Marines. The mission is to soften up the enemy before the main assault at dawn. We land across the beach, proceed to the airfield, destroy an ammo dump, eliminate any remaining resistance, sit tight till our relief arrives. Any questions? Well done, Griffin. Now we got this airfield secured, we can get a foothold on this island and start pushing the Japanese back. We're through retreating, lad. America's back in this war.
Adams formed the Marines in 1775. An entirely new method of warfare was born. Unlike armies that marched cross-country to battle, the Marines were amphibious, launching their attacks with shore landings. In the decade before World War II, the Marines began to truly develop their style of combat. This preparation paid huge dividends in the early days following America's entry into the war. Guadalcanal was taken and secured with almost no loss. However, swift Japanese counterattacks led to a tough and costly campaign to hold the island. Despite the brutal climate and high number of enemy troops, the Marines, aided by U.S. soldiers and local inhabitants, were finally victorious. Later in the war, the Marines and their unique battle tactics would prove invaluable.
I don't imagine any of us got much sleep, so I'll spare the small talk. This is the situation. We managed to take the airfield, but we haven't pushed the Japanese off the island yet. Still delaying our repair crews with artillery from the west, and they hit us hard last night, as you can tell. Headquarters is calling that artillery position Pistol Pete. We can't use this airfield with Artie firing at us all day and all night. I want that damn Pistol Pete taken out. Raider patrols say there's a Scot and some coast watchers in the area. Been on the island since the start of the war. Keep an eye out for them, they could be of some help. Brooks and Thomason are your squad. Take care of them, Corporal. You shut down that artillery no matter what it takes.
Blooming Japanese!
Alright, let's move on then.
Here he is, sir. This kid's got potential. Really hate to lose him, but I think he's exactly what you're looking for.
7 months after joining the war, America's need for intelligence gathering and distribution was growing critical. Traditionally, these tasks had belonged to the Department of State. President Roosevelt sought advice from a trusted friend, William J. Donovan, a Medal of Honor recipient and veteran of the Great War. Donovan proposed a new, autonomous and covert organization to carry out intelligence missions behind enemy lines. The Office of Strategic Services was created in June 1942 under Donovan's control. This elite force would swiftly become a critical weapon against the Axis. With units sent to every front, agents of the OSS were instrumental in many Allied victories.
Take a seat, Sergeant Griffin. Now that you've completed your OSS training, we need you in active service. Immediately. In fact, tonight. One of our operatives has uncovered evidence of a top-secret Axis summit planned for tonight, somewhere in Singapore. We need to know what those bastards are up to. One of our Nisei operatives will make contact, a Private First Class Tanaka. He'll brief you upon arrival. Additionally, the Limeys have an SOE operative underground there, a Major Bromley. He's kind of a wild card, so keep your eyes peeled. That's the mission. And remember, we're depending on you.
Come on! Let's go!
This information needs to get back to the OSS. Our only chance is to find out where the gold is and stop it from being moved. I think I still have a few friends in Burma.
Along with successfully occupying much of the Pacific, the Japanese Golden Lily team began a systematic pillaging of Asian wealth. The team looted thousands of metric tons of gold and valuables from Chinese cities. The largest load was collected by General Yamashita after his conquest of Singapore, the repository of many hidden British and French assets. The one obstacle the Japanese faced was getting their hoard back to the homeland. At first, the enemy relied on naval transport. However, after Allied forces picked up on this tactic and began hitting the Emperor's navy hard, the Japanese began securing their treasure in underground mines.
Scenery from up there, Raj. Over.
Good, good, very good. But there's a lot of temples in the valley, Major Bromley. Can't say for certain, but there appears to be some activity near the large temple to the north of your current position. Over.
Understood, mate. That should be good enough for now. Get yourself out of range, over.
Roger, just 2 more passes. I want another look at the temple before we move in. Over.
Damn it! We have to move now. They'll be swarming the crash site in a matter of minutes.
Was an important Southeast Asian land supply route for the Americans as well as the Japanese. Control of Burma meant control over a key artery for supplies traveling in both directions. Enemy forces used this route to send looted wealth south to its aircraft carriers. The United States depended on Burmese roads to lend support to the Chinese in their fight against Japanese occupation. The most successful form of transport in Burma was the railway system. The air routes were inefficient, and the sea belonged to the Allies. With the forced labor of slaves and prisoners, the Japanese laid track at breakneck speed, at a tragic cost of many lives. As the battles were fought in thick jungle, control of Burma changed hands several times. But finally, the Allies seized control.
That's our target. There's one more train after that one. We can't let any more of the gold make it to Shima. We've got to make it to the bridge ahead of the train. Griffin! Griffin! fine piece of work, but here's a better one. We are going carrier hunting.
Japanese carrier Toshikaze. Intelligence is betting that Yamashita's gold is on board.
Only way we'll know for sure is to see for ourselves. While we're at it, we should send that bleeding tub to the bottom of the drink. And I got some ideas on how to get that particular job done.
身元不詳の航空機に次ぐこちら年風身元を明らかにしてくださいどうぞ
こちらは川島飛躍です極秘任務で動いてます申し上げることができません着艦強化願いますどうぞ
了解直ちに着艦してください
They bought it. We're going in.
With this naval uniform, I'll be able to move around the ship freely. Once we land, you guys lay low. I'll tell the crew to tow the plane to the hangar. When you're safely below, you should be able to move around and find that gold. In the meantime, I'll infiltrate the officers' quarters and try to find Shima.
おい、あの将校少し若すぎやしなかったか？
そうだよな。最近若い将校が増えてるからな。
In 1944, 2 years after General MacArthur had been ordered to leave 70,000 of his troops stranded, the United States would return to the Philippines. The road back to save MacArthur's men was not easy. Admiral Nimitz's overall attack plan involved a direct route to Japan, which bypassed the Philippines altogether. MacArthur appealed to the Joint Chiefs and eventually gained their support. In October 1944, MacArthur landed on the island of Leyte, declaring, "People of the Philippines, I have returned." MacArthur proceeded to regain control of the Philippines. However, less than a third of the troops he had left behind were rescued.